Today I'm going to make a quick video on changing the rear and front differential oil. I wasn't going to film this, but I figured maybe it'll help some of you guys out. What I'm going to do is I looked into buying the aftermarket differential covers, and I just really don't feel like spending $500–600 on a cover. I really want a drain plug is the reason you want to buy one of those, because these stock ones don't have a drain plug and it's kind of a pain. Every time you change the oil you have to take the cover off. So what I ended up doing is I just bought some weld-on bungs, and hopefully there's enough clearance in here where I can weld one on the inside. So this is the rear differential, and I already got the front differential. I'll show you what I did on that. So while I'm here on the back, I'll just show you. This is a 2016 Ram. So these are going to be 1/2-inch bolts. That bracket right there is 13mm, and that's holding I guess brake lines up there. So there's just all kinds of stuff in the way, so I don't feel like taking this off every time I change the oil. So you gotta take that bracket off right there, and then one up there. So anyway, the front one was, I believe, 10mm bolts. So I'm just gonna go in and take this diff cover off and see what would be the best spot for that drain. Check the clearance and go from there. All right, I got almost all the bolts out. Got 2 on the bottom holding me. Yeah, that top one, the very top one right there, you're gonna have to probably use a wrench, unless if you take your spare down. I didn't feel like doing it. And by the way, those are 35-inch tires, and when I was looking on the internet, some people are saying that you cannot put 35s on a 2500 with coil springs, and some people say you can. You can. There's not much room by that bar right there. And also what I had to do is that heat shield, I ended up taking the heat shield off and re-bending it around the tire, because it had like a it wasn't like perfectly round, but if you do that you can fit 35s under here. All right, got the cover off. I know it's hard to see in here, but best place would be probably obviously down here on the bottom somewhere. But what you want to do is probably get either Play-Doh or something like that. What I do is I put the cover back on, put a piece of Play-Doh in there, kind of squish it in there, and take it out and measure the Play-Doh and see how much clearance you have over there. Make sure you don't drill a hole and run your drain plug into the gear and pinion over there. So just something to think about. Anyway, I'm gonna go in and check for clearance. Let me show you something real quick. So this is the rear cover and this is the front cover. I'm already done with the front cover. So the issue we're running into is the differential housing. Actually, the bottom of the differential housing stops right here, right under that bolt. So this is your bottom bolt. Differential housing stops right there. So if you drill a hole, let's say if you're trying to find a flat spot, which this is a flat spot here, but you would think that this would be the lowest spot right here, but it's not. It's actually on this flat spot, unfortunately. So I ran into the same issue with the front diff cover. This flat area is way higher than the housing itself, if this makes sense. So if I flip this over, because originally I was gonna put a hole right about here somewhere for the drain, but ran into the same issue on the front diff. The housing, the bottom of the housing runs right about there. So, I mean, you want to be as low as possible. So if I have to do it all over again, I'd probably buy a smaller drain. This one, the hole that you're supposed to drill for, this is 7/8. So, I mean, this is pretty big. You probably don't need this big of a drain. I would probably buy a little bit smaller, just because you end up running into this curve right here, and I'm probably gonna have to end up grinding a flat spot into this bond right here. So I don't think it's gonna be an issue as far as that goes, but if you're gonna do the same thing, I'll probably buy a smaller drain. So you flip it over, it's kind of gonna sit somewhat like that. Now, like I said, it's not exactly flat, but I'm gonna take this to a buddy of mine. He's a pretty good welder, so I'm gonna let him weld it on. But as far as clearance, there's no clearance issues here, so I'm gonna mark it and drill it. The rear cover also 7/8. All right, so I got the cover back on, just mocked it up so you guys can see it. I know it's kind of dark in here, but I got the hole drilled so you can see this is still a flat spot right here, and you can see the bottom right there. So no clearance issues whatsoever. But like I said, I'd buy a smaller bong. That way when you weld it on, you're not going to run into this curve right here. So, but anyway, that's how it looks. All right, so I got the covers back from a friend of mine. He ended up welding these in for me. He did a pretty good job. The only thing, and you guys might run into this clearance issue, is that this is the bolt that's supposed to be going here, and I won't be able to use that. That's the original bolt. So I ended up getting one of these with a smaller head, and that's going to work. For the front cover, that's the original one. That's probably going to work fine. So just keep that in mind. There's not a whole lot of room as far as, like, you know, going up with this. You could probably go to the side a little bit. Same with this. Try to be away from the bolt itself. But what I would do is, like I said, I would probably get a smaller drain than this. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and bolt these on. All right, well, I got everything buttoned up. It got late the other day when I put the covers on, so I didn't film it. But basically, just to recap, got everything, like I said, everything on. Nothing is leaking, so that's good. I'll go under the truck and show you guys one more time how it looks. So that's your front diff cover. I ended up just putting a little bit of primer on it and painting it. On this one, I was able to reuse all the original bolts. So that's your front one. Here's the rear diff. Hi, Vicky.
I just get my rod apart.
Okay. So did the same thing, just put some primer on it and painted it. I had to use a different bolt head. Reuse the gaskets though, nothing is leaking, so everything is good. What do you think, Andy? So that's pretty much it. I just kind of want to make this video, maybe help some of you guys out that don't want to spend, you know, $500–600 on a diff cover. Hope you enjoyed it.